Hi. So, all those people who've come here reading the word migraine, let me warn you, I'm going to beat about the bush quite a bit, and I don't think you would regret it by the end of this video if you happen to stick around. If you don't, that's all right. So, let me begin. When did I learn about Reiki? It was way back, many years back when I was in college. I was in my second or third year. I guess it was my final year of college that I learned about Reiki, but I did not pay heed to it because, as they say, things happen to you, things get absorbed, they get percolated when you're ready for it. I wasn't ready for this science, so obviously, I did not stick around, and in due course of time, I even forgot about the science. Until a few days back, when I was keeping continuously sick, I was under weather, and one night I got reminded for some reason. I don't know what was the trigger. I remembered about this science, um, and I tried it in the middle of the night, and it worked sort of. And the second day, I was hooked more to it, and the third day even more, until a few days passed, and I realized how it can work and how it may miss your goal. So my usual way of explaining things is through illustrations. That's starting from scientific uh, perspective and then mixing some subjective views, because it's all about sharing, right? This medium. All right. So here we are. I'm going to go point wise. I'm going to talk about nerve endings first. Why do people use their palms in giving the Reiki energy? So, you know that there are certain nerve endings. We all know about neurons. This is not some mumbo jumbo, this is pure biology. There are nerve endings. Their nerve endings are just like wires. Maximum potential they have, and when they are introduced to some more potential, some more pressure, they start moving, the electrons start moving just in a wire. So that's exactly how it happens. We have maximum nerve endings on in our brain. uh, then we have it on our palms, especially the fingertips and the thumb, and then we have it in this zone, the thorax region. If that's what it's called, yeah, I think it is called thorax region. And then we have on our feet, which is directly in contact with earth, which is again a moving object, a magnet in its own right. So what happens when things are moving? They attract. It's a law. When there is movement in something, it also develops attraction, pretty much like a moving river would carry with itself the mud near that's there near the riverbanks, or a strong wave would sweep back a lot of sand with itself. So there's this attraction that a moving object develops. So that's magnetism for you. And magnetism happens when there's movement, and movement is electricity. Electricity because of electrons. Electrons because this is one part of a cell, or an atom. Actually, cell is a congregation of many atoms. It is one part of an atom that's freely floating, and it's always ready to move, unlike protons and neutrons that do not move, and they are the permanent members of an atom. Okay, so this is what it is. So nerve endings are there. Since they're nerve endings, they're most susceptible to catching energy, because the wire ends, the end of the wire, when it gets the push, that's when that's when the electrons start moving and we get an electric flow. So these are the parts that is most susceptible to getting energized. We use our palms, we can't use our head and give people Reiki, or our thorax region or our feet. Haha. Yes, so let me give example of bar magnet. Bar magnet, we know that most field lines they concentrate near the poles. That's exactly what happens even in our body, which can be seen as a bar magnet. Most energy gets concentrated on our head because that's where the pranic energy enters our body, pretty much like a pyramid. It's closed from all sides. The maximum amount of energy enters through this. Is it even visible? Yes, this is a small little pyramid I have made. So maximum energy gets it enters through this point, the pinnacle, and a person, if there is a person sitting here, would be benefited most. Okay, right. So this was the second point. So Mo- moving on, since the pranic energy, just like a bar magnet would have its maximum incidence on the head, uh, and then also since there are field lines at other places as well, since there are field lines at other places as well, even in the center, though they are not as strong and they are distributed, they enter here through our nose, uh, on our they are incident on our palms and other parts of the body, but maximum incidence is here. Okay, according to the tools we have in our body, we interpret this pranic energy or life force energy that has its source in the sun, and it is white in color. No, white is not a color, it is white, but it is a congregation of seven colors. And in the sunrise, during the sunrise, we can, some of the more evolved people can even see this pranic energy in form of white light hitting the earth, and it is not even spoiled by infrared rays, which happens post 12 o'clock, because it gets way too heated and it starts harming the body. Before 12 o'clock it's just perfect, you can sunbathe, etc., because that's a source of energy that your body needs for the cells in the body to get in, to continue being in motion, and that's how they remain live. So here, when the pranic energy enters, it is it gives rise to consciousness. Consciousness is all being aware of everything, being getting all knowing, be feeling a part of the cosmos, not feeling like a separate entity. So it is all pervading knowledge, pervasive knowledge. When it enters through our nostrils, that pranic energy, uh, it either goes upwards in form of udanavayu, that's wind, or it goes downwards, that's apanavayu, or it distributes itself, that's vyanavayu, or concentrate it concentrates in the center, that's samanavayu, or it actually helps our heart to function, that's pranavayu. Okay, so it's udan, apan, vyan, saman, and pran. So they help in the life processes of our body. So this pranic energy is entering the earth zone from outside. Another entity which is like a big moving magnet is the earth that we stand on. And now, since it moves, it's a magnet and it attracts people That's why the gravity, the gravitational force, it also affects the most energized portions, that's feet, the lowermost chakra or glands. Now, when they roll, when they get energized, they move the survival, the need for reproduction, ambition. So, these are the three chakras or glands that are most active in most people. While this energy does not reach high up to these points, that's hard for compassion, for communication or clarity. This is intuition, the third eye, and connection with God. That's crown chakra. So this is how the Vayu functions. Consciousness, when it enters through nostrils, 5 types of winds that have their own functions to keep the cells in the body energized. When they rotate, they are living. When they stop rotating, the body stops functioning or is dead. And when another magnet, that's earth, affects our feet and our thorax region, it binds us to the earth because it wants to claim us. It wants to keep you stuck to them. So that's why they only energize glands that are responsible to to make you to make you more aware of or more alert about survival, for reproduction, for ambition. Now, Reiki energy. Reiki energy is when I'm energizing my hands. I'm keeping it on a non-living object. After a while, I feel I feel the heat that was generated dissipate, and I feel nothing. My hands has gotten cold. There's cold energy here because this is not living. Now, when I keep it on my hand for self healing or on somebody else's skin, even though not directly touching but keeping it slightly away, I would feel a certain heat energy. So that's Reiki energy. That's a big, big sign of Reiki energy. That's heat that's passing. When heat is passing between two things, those are living because there's movement inside in form of cells, and there's attraction, there's repulsion, attraction and repulsion, because each cell which is, can you see it? Can you even see it? If not, this is one cell outside, this is one cell inside, round, um, and even this has, since it is round, even this has poles. It has poles, dipole, is that what it's called? Okay, so when they move, they are completely in motion. This energy passes between these two, getting attracted to the opposite poles. If it is north, this is south, they'll get attracted. If this is north and this is north, they'll get repulsed. If this is north and this is south, attraction. If this is south, this is south, repulsion. So this constant give and back and forth of energy, so heat is produced. When good amount of heat is produced for a long time, the cells in the body that have that get dormant for some reason, they get active again and they start moving. That's Reiki healing for you. When you keep your hand, which is energized, and you're healthy over something that's not full of requisite amount of energy, you'll energize this portion. So one thing that you need to remember, that things don't happen in a jiffy. Things take time. Okay, so if you put your hand over your head, which is in which you are getting migraine pains, it'll not get resolved. The problem will not get resolved very quickly. It'll take a very, very long time. You have to persistently, continuously keep your hand over the affected regions. So what I've found some hacks to get rid of that pain. I'll talk about them in my next video. For now, you just need to know that you have to, whichever part of your body or anybody else's body is suffering, you have to use your hands for a longer duration. Small little 2 minutes thing, it's not 2 minutes noodles. You gotta keep energizing your hand continuously and put it over that affected region for 15 minutes straight. And better still is that if there are 4 or 5 people who can keep their energized hands over the affected person, the results would be so positive and they will be quicker, because a single person cannot generate so much energy so as to continuously provide it to the other person. Now, about the physical casing of the cells. It is a completely different topic that I wanted to talk about, and so I will talk about it in my next video that I'm making right away. As for this one, bye.